Dunna, 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 dunna. Here he comes, Erling Haaland, sharking about, sniffing about for goals. That little break from him scoring that gluttony of goals every single game, but he's back. And it's quite a tricky little festive period for Man City. And I think there's a few stumbling blocks that could get in the way of Erling Haaland's procession to the 60-goal mark. Is that what we predicted a couple of weeks ago?
I didn't.
In all competitions, you've got a total of 7 games in this tricky schedule. Liverpool, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea twice, Man United and Spurs in the next 7. We were talking about in the Chelsea video the amount of players that Chelsea have had away and those players that have gone deep into the competition. For Man City, they've had the most in terms of players going out there, which you would expect when they've got such a great squad. And so that obviously makes it difficult. But you know the way that Man City play is kind of set in stone. That sort of mix between all those players that have been away with their national team, not thinking about the Premier League, not thinking about Man City, not thinking about Erling Haaland, and then Erling Haaland, who's been, I imagine he's had a little bit of a break. He's been chilling out, pumping some iron, just combing his hair, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that Erling Haaland will be, well, I think he'll be ready to go, but do you think he's going to hit the ground running with these tricky fixtures debate? Or do you think that could be a difficulty in terms of the service that he's going to get from the rest of these Man City players because they've all been out and about?
I think it'll be an interesting one because right before the break, he was actually starting to tail off a little bit. Not tail off in terms
Careful.
of... Yeah, not like that.
Don't rate him. Are you saying you don't rate him?
I love the guy. Julian Alvarez is ready to take his seat going. I just think a lot of these City players come back, and I do have a theory that not many of them had good World Cups. De Bruyne, Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Diaz, Gundogan, Rodri wasn't great, although played centre back. Ederson didn't even play. There's a lot of names there that weren't very good. So whether that sort of tails into this part of the season, I don't know. I think Haaland comes back ready though. I think this is like the start of the Premier League again for him, and that's quite a scary thought if you're an opposition team. The good thing is for the rest of the league, they play Leeds away, which will be a really difficult game. Everton at home will be difficult. Chelsea will be difficult, although Quaker probably disagrees. Chelsea again, United. There's a lot of very difficult games coming. If Haaland doesn't hit the ground running, City could have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, they could, but he's going to be chomping at the bit, especially because the first competitive game back is against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. That's always a tasty fixture. He's going to be up for that, especially because he missed that gilt-edged chance in the Community Shield against Liverpool. I know they've played since that, but I
can just see him in the gym. It's like Ivan Drago.
He doesn't need any more motivation. And then the first league game back is Leeds away. Obviously, he was born in Leeds. He doesn't need any more motivation for that game. He's a specimen. He's a special player. And I know they've got difficult fixtures, but he's somebody that can rise to the occasion. And I expect him to continue on this goal-scoring rate. He's probably going to end up on 30-plus goals, maybe even try and hit that 40 mark in terms of the Premier League goals. And being away and just watching so much football, he'd be thinking, what would I do in that position? How can I affect the games? And I know he went away to Marbella for the first bit of the break, and then he's come back to Manchester. And I just think there's no stopping him. And what also works for Man City is how well Julian Alvarez has done for Argentina. So Haaland will carry the majority of the burden for the whole season. But when Alvarez does come back into the squad and he is back to full fitness, probably January time, mid-January, that's just another weapon that they've got that can help to bring out the best in Erling Haaland. So I think he's going to be fine, and I think City are probably going to trot to the title.
How much do you think World Cup form matters for the City team?
I think, do you know what I would say? With Julian Alvarez, it's almost annoying that it's Haaland in his place, because you would kind of go on, son, off you go. Get as many goals as you can, and then we'll bring in Haaland when we need to. But that seems so stupid when you've got someone like Haaland there waiting. So actually, I think the way Guardiola sets up his squad is that he goes through them all and goes, look, you're going to have periods in the season. It would always feel like Sterling would play a lot at the start. This is last season, of course. And then it wasn't in the team. Then he'd be back in for February for a bit. And then when it came to those big games last season, he was back out. Basically, the whole squad will know that they will all get 25, 30 games and they will push on all 4 fronts. And so I guess he needs to just have that broad look at it when he's thinking about it all, because as much as you should be excited to play Haaland, you also should be careful because you've got someone in good form in terms of Julian Alvarez. I think the rest of the team will just slot into place like they always do.
Don't you think, though, Pep leans on the form of players quite frequently. So he'll lean on Gundogan for 10, 12 games, then Bernardo Silva on the basis of their form. A lot of them come back to the Premier League in bad form.
I'd actually disagree. I don't think anyone rotates more than Pep. So I think actually they're all in good form because he keeps rotating them. Here's something. I wonder if feel free to roll your eyes, everyone. Do you think there's anything in the personality of Haaland that will have seen all this conversation about Mbappe at a World Cup, and he'll be going? It'd be absolutely frothing.
He's
at
going,
the
why
mouth.
am I Norwegian?
Yeah. Do you think he's a? Do you think it's?
Yeah,
It'll be sort of poking at him a little bit.
Do you remember, again, it's so difficult to cast your mind back to a world before this World Cup, but if you were to ask, you put a poll out there, I'm sure there was multiple polls, and you're like, who is better? Who is better? Don't add anything to it. Haaland or Mbappe? When Haaland was scoring all those goals, there was nobody saying Mbappe. Mbappe had those issues with Messi and Neymar, and the PR around Mbappe wasn't great. Now there's a consensus built around Mbappe that he's the best player in the world. Haaland's definitely watching that. He's not a man just there for the team accolades. He's there for the individual accolades as well, and he's not hidden that. He's seen Mbappe, all the fanfare around Mbappe, and he's got a point to prove, and I think he's going to prove it against Leeds in the first Premier League game back.
Scary stuff, isn't it? I think I don't want to kind of. You don't want to create that kind of, not character assassination, but just decide that there's needle in it. But these are strikers, aren't they?
Also, elite level footballers. Like we've seen it with Messi in the World Cup. Everyone was going, he's a nice guy, which he definitely still is. But the World Cup came around and suddenly went, wait, forget this nice guy act. I want to win at all costs. Erling Haaland will be the exact same. He wants to win the Golden Boot. You've seen it with Mo Salah at Liverpool and Mane and all of that. They all live and breathe competition. It's not a bad thing. I think he's just going to be going, listen, get that new Premier League winter ball out. I'm playing in short sleeves and gloves. It's game time.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.